So I started out the school year, like many of us do, with planning a reading workshop, doing a read aloud with my kids, allowing for some independent reading and some choice, doing some book clubs, guided reading, and then giving them a few tasks that I wanted them to complete while I work with those groups. And what I was finding was that I was having a hard time keeping the kids engaged in the activities that I was wanting them to do, and therefore it was also a struggle to be able to meet with my groups because we were interrupted a lot trying to keep everybody on task. I wasn't feeling effective, spending a lot of time planning, grading, tracking the kids' work, and not feeling like I was getting a big bang for my buck. So things kind of came to a head one day during a data team meeting that we were having with the lit coach, and I just kind of, as she was asking me for some information that I was having a hard time really coming up with, and in a meaningful way, I just kind of reflected on how I'd been feeling about things going in my room, and that things had to change. So I kind of had this like little meltdown where I felt like things just needed. I knew that what I was doing wasn't working for me or for my kids at the time, and we needed to do some things differently. So the coach stayed with me after school one day, and we just kind of worked through it, and we kind of redesigned a reading workshop to meet what I felt like I wanted my goals to be. I kept my read aloud. I kept the independent reading time and the choice. I kept guided reading groups. I kept book clubs, but rearranged them, streamlined them a little bit more, that allowed me to interact with each group a little more often. And so I also added 2 different mini lessons to my reading workshop. One being just a real quick lesson for like a phonics lesson or a spelling pattern or some little, thing that's going to help them in their everyday work. And then the second lesson later on in the workshop is more of a big idea lesson. For example, like character development in the books that we're reading with a bigger idea, and I might give them an idea to analyze 2 characters in different books and show me how they've developed differently. The kinds of things that I'm giving the kids or asking the kids to do are more of their choice. There's more options, and really my focus is just, if you can show me that you understand the learning, then I'm good with it. We also have the opportunity to use the Google apps. We use Seesaw, a lot of opportunities for online portfolios. That also gives the kids a wider audience. If they know the other kids in the class are going to see it, or that parents are going to see it, it kind of gives them that extra motivation as well. But what I've found is by giving them all of these different choices and how they show that learning and a time frame within which to do it, that they're more engaged in what's going on. They're more excited. I'm seeing a higher quality of the work that's done. I'm not spending my time tracking down, you didn't turn in this paper or you didn't finish this paper, because they're excited, so things tend to get done in a more timely manner. And so therefore, they're feeling more accomplished. I'm feeling a little more effective. And when I'm meeting with my guided reading groups during this time, I can do it with less interruptions, because they're more engaged in what they're doing. I can be more engaged and present with the kids that I'm working with too. There's just a better, more positive energy in our classroom. So it seems to be working well. There are still some struggles. We always have, those struggles that, you have those kids in the room that need a little bit more guidance, that need a little more structure, and you have to provide that for those kids. The other struggle has been just a way to keep track of who's doing what. And so I've devised a board where I have some different options up there, and they put their little magnet in the one that they're working on, and it kind of gives me a way to keep track of who's doing what. So at the end of the day, I know where to look for their work. Sometimes if I know I'm going to look for it at home, I might even take a picture of my board with the date on it, and then I later can go back to it when I have time, and find those activities and kind of look through them and give them feedback that way. So all in all, it seems to be working. It's still a work in progress, but I think we're on the right track.